briefly, I could talk about first impressions.
Oh yeah, go for it.
Um,
Because I've seen, like, to be honest, while you're formulating all that, like I saw a little bit from him, and to be honest, I was like, oh dude, this guy's insane, and I literally had no idea of how much of a following he's gathering and how influential he's actually becoming. Like, it's crazy to me. So yeah, it's crazy.
so a couple first reactions to him. So I feel like he is like, and I want to stress this is the first reaction because I always like to really try to know about people before I talk about them. So
Yeah.
maybe something I'm missing here, but he um he strikes me as someone who felt that feeling when you were 12 and 13 that you were maybe not as good looking as other people. You were maybe a little bit of a nerd. You maybe had a few things wrong with you. And then he did that thing where he said, "Oh man, look at these like movie stars. Look at all these actors. Man, I want to look like them. If only I could look like them." And then he took that if only I could look like them as like his life mission.
Mm.
And he just like absolutely 1000% went for every single part of that. And along the way, I don't know if he developed the other emotional things that you develop normally as you get older.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like just like the looks matter, but they're not everything. There's other aspects to it, yada yada yada.
Hmm.
So that's the first thing. The second thing is he kind of reminds me of like, and I don't mean this word in a positive way. I mean in a neutral way. He's like an evolved Andrew Tate.
Mm-hmm.
And so what I mean by that is like when Tate comes out and talks about his perspectives, and I know really almost nothing about him. He seems to be very like loud about things and very like, yeah, I'm gonna like look good and do all these things and maximize this money, all that. I don't know if Clavicular talks about money much, but Tate is really loud,
Mm-hmm.
right? He'll be like it wouldn't surprise me if Tate had something like, fuck the libtards or something. And it's like that's how he gains his like
Yeah.
that's part of what he does.
Mm-hmm.
But Clavicular seems to wanting to be avoiding that. So like if you watch his interview with Piers Morgan, Piers, and I hadn't seen all of it. From what I've seen though, Piers hits him really hard on the fact that I guess Clavicular was like in the car when some kind of like Nazi song was playing or something, and he was with like I think
Oh
maybe Tate and
yeah, I
Ryan
saw
James or
that
whatever.
clip. It was like both the
Yeah,
Tate
yeah, yeah.
brothers
So
and Nick Fuentes, and yeah.
yeah, yeah. So and I don't remember exactly who was in the car, but Piers was trying to press him on that, and Clavicular was like, "I'm not political. Like I'm not going to get involved in that kind of stuff." And it was like, and my first reaction was like, well, I don't know. I haven't heard the song myself, but if you're in the car and singing along or playing along, again, assuming this is true, to a song that's like a Nazi song, brother, you're doing something political. You can't just not choose to be political. It's like if you went outside and it's raining and you're just like, I'm not wet. I'm like, I don't care. If you think you're not wet, there's water on you.
It's true.
Like, what are you talking about?
It's true.
So that was the first part of it. But the reason I bring up the like evolved Tate thing is because I think what Clavicular or whatever they say could be doing is this more like the fact that he's subtle about that. I think it allows him to sell his position better. Do you know
Yeah.
what I mean? Because
Yeah.
like if you want to sell like the importance of like looking good and doing that or whatever, what you would do is anytime something controversial comes up, you would say, I'm not talking about this, I'm talking about this. I'm not
Mhm.
talking about this, I'm talking about this.
Yeah.
So what the reason that matters is because it's more subtle. I think if you're like a teenage boy or whatever learning, you become like a looks maxer, but then like you subtly may also pick up like maybe some like neo-Nazi stuff along the way. Or you know what I mean, or some anti-black stuff along the way. Whereas if Tate is coming out and he's like, fuck the libtards, there may be another part of the population that maybe they like that, but I think there's some part of it that's like, I don't know about that. I don't know about so it might push those people away.
Yeah.
Whereas again, with Clavicular, if it's more subtle about it, if it's kinda underneath the looks maxing, it kinda comes up with it and you don't even realize it as much.
Yeah.
So, that's just kind of a theory, I'm not married to that, because I feel like sometimes the people that are loud, that's like a whole 'nother crowd that you can influence.
Yeah.
But
I
anyway,
I
but I don't know, like, I just I hope that, and this will be the last thing as far as
mm,
first impressions on him. I
mhm.
actually think he's kind of figured something out, which is that looks are important. And I actually push back sometimes on people who are a little too far and they're like, looks don't matter. Like the attractiveness of people that are like 600 pounds is the exact same that are people that are fit. It's like, yeah, things are subjective. But at some point, like the majority of people are going to think this person is more attractive than this. Like it just is what it is.
Mhm.
I think it's fine that he's catching on to that. But the problem is, it's like that's like all he is. It appears to be.
Yeah,
That's all he is.
and here's the funny thing is like he's one of those characters that even as you're talking, I thought I was unfamiliar with him. And like you even when you texted me, you were like, "How do you not know?" And it was like, okay,
I
even
was
just
joking, but yeah.
no, I know. But like even in your explanation, I was like, "Oh yeah, I did see that. Oh yeah, I did hear about that. Oh yeah, like so
Yeah.
again, like you realize and I think here's the problem is he comes across in the very little I've seen. Again, this is my first impressions as well. Like he comes across as like the third or fourth grade boy that like just figured out how to cuss and is like trying to be edgy and trying to be all these things and like you actually don't even know why you're saying or why you're doing the things you're doing and then like when you get pressed like what you were talking about with peers, which I haven't seen that full conversation, but I have. Again, it was one of those things. It was like, oh yeah, I did see him talk about this. um like I anytime you get pressed, you just back off. Well, I'm not talking about that. I'm not political. I'm not this. I'm not that. And so you actually don't stand for anything. And so even the little bit that you do say, I'm for this or I'm about this or this is what I want to see in society, it's hard to take it serious because you're so easy to back off of those positions when you get pushed on it. And like I do, just pulling up some other things about him that again it was like memory refresher because I'm like I've never heard of this and then I'm like oh yeah no I did hear about that oh no I did like the bone smashing stuff like brother what are we doing like
Yeah, so, apparently, from what I've heard, it's not not that this changes it much, but it's not literally a bone smashing. Apparently, it's basically just, like, you hit your cheeks
yes
and you make them swell.
yes
So, like, which I'm not saying that's as good. I'm just saying, like,
well and it's with the assumption that when it heals better and so it's again it's like is that the most beneficial thing? Like, all right, you can have your opinions about like the looks and all that stuff. That's fine. And I actually agree. I think attraction is far more important than what we like to put, on people. We like to, oh, it's all about the heart. It's all about no, you have to be attracted to the people that you're in a relationship with. If you're not, there's a problem. Or there
well
will
well,
be.
Josh, I think what me and you realize is that it's both.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
It's you
100%.
can't have just one of those things.
Mm-hmm.
You can't, but I will say though, interestingly, I do think if I had to pick one to override the other, I would pick the personality, the character,
Mm-hmm.
and the heart to override the looks
Yeah.
every single time.
Absolutely.
And my guess would be that if you talk to someone, I don't wanna, I don't know what Clavicular would say, but my guess would be if you talk to Clavicular about that, he'd be like, "There's no fucking way, dude. Looks are way more important than," like, he has this quote, I hope I'm not misquoting this, but he said something like, "Yeah, if I'm on, like, a date at a bowling alley and a girl, why in the world would I not stream that?" And it's just like, "What?" Like
Yeah.
like, you can tell it's like I just feel like I mean this seriously because I feel like he could be influencing a lot of younger boys that feel similarly, and I'm really worried that him and these boys are basically feeling like they genuinely feel that. They think, "Well, why would I care about this connection
Mm-hmm.
when I can just stream it and I can, like, get them to, like, have sex with me later or whatever?
Yeah.
Why would I care?" Like, it's genuinely foreign to them.
Well, and
Or they went after the connection and they don't feel it, and it's now so now they're like, "Oh, well, now I'll go after this," and
Mm-hmm.
it just comes across really to me more than anything as depressing,
Mm-hmm.
and that's what, like, it's I just I hope that someday he can realize, it's not looks are important, but, like, god damn, dude,
Well,
that's not that's not all there is. It's like he's trying it's like he saw honestly, here's what I feel like it is. I feel like it's he was never a chef, and he saw a final cooked meal, and on the menu, it said, like, chicken and mashed potatoes. So he went to the store, and all he bought was a chicken breast and mashed potatoes. He didn't buy the butter, the salt, the seasoning, the right pan, you know what I mean? Like, he doesn't
instant mashed potatoes
understand
at
that it's
that.
like it's all you know what I mean, though?
Yeah.
Like, it's
Yeah.
all part
Yeah.
of, like, a bigger
Yes.
meal. Like,
Yes.
it's all the meals are something that a bunch of things come together
Mm-hmm.
to actually give you more than what is just presented as words on a menu.
Which.
And that's what it feels like Clavicular is doing. He might have a fuckload of sex, he might get with a lot of women, he might be popular,
Mm-hmm.
but it's like, cool, but to what end? Right? Everything you do, all that stuff, like I think it's Scott Galloway has this quote where he says, like, what's the point of prosperity if you can't protect people? And that reminds me a little bit of like where I worry about clavs or clavicular or whatever is like you have all these you have this like recognition that looks matter. You have this popularity, you have this platform, but
Mm-hmm.
like how are you using it for both yourself and the world?
And
So
it's what you do to achieve that, right? Like it's like he's talked about allegedly using methamphetamine to like stay skinny. He's talked about using anabolic steroids and different things like that. Like this is a problem, and like without going too much in like the wholeness and wellness side of things, like you gotta look at not just the results of looking good, but like what is it really doing to your body. He said that he doesn't produce testosterone anymore.
yeah, I think I may have heard him say something about him not being like a longevity guy. And it's just like
But
I don't
that's
know.
what but that's where and I agree, like you're so influential with all these young guys especially, that if like even if you're about like, oh, it's all about looks and it's all about this, how you're getting there is important. If you're taking drugs, or you're trying to produce synthetic results, like that's going to be damaging just in general. And it's hard when you're like, I really just don't even know what you stand for at all. Like I have no idea what you stand for. And because anytime you get pressed on a position, he backs off of it, and there's no real consistency. I don't think you can see a through line to some of the things he says. It's like, oh, I can see that even if you disagree, I can see where these principles come from, or I can see where these things come from. Which kind of goes back again to what we were talking about earlier, which is like there has to be consistency with the frameworks and the beliefs and the ethics and morals and all that. There has to be consistency there.